or what that was, but that was a big something. Let's go find out. Oh, it's like insulation or something. What's up, you guys? John's Moto Garage. Welcome back to the channel. We're taking the DRZ out just to get you all up to speed. So probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I cracked the stator cover here and had oil leaking out all over the place on this bike. The bike sat out of commission. I had a lot of people telling me to try JB Weld, and I finally said, you know what, let's give it a shot. And so we did. We got JB Weld yesterday. We put it back together. I let it sit, I let it set, I let it cure, and today we're taking the bike out to see how it works. I'll walk you through the process, what I did, and let's just take the bike for a spin. I've been itching to get back on this thing. I've been going through DRZ withdrawals for sure. Woo! We're back in business. Alright, so here's what happened. I went online and I looked, and for an outer stator cover, it's like 215 bucks. And that's the one thing, if you look at the DRZ forums, everybody tells you get case savers, man. And that's why, because all it takes is a little tip. And in this case, it was the shifter peg. It's cracked right through the cover. Live and learn, as is always the case on John's Moto Garage. So I basically let it sit. I did some research. I decided what I wanted to do. And finally I said, you know what? I think everybody's right. We'll try this JB Weld thing and give it a shot. So I ran over to Lowe's, picked up some JB Weld. It only costs like $6 or $7. Just make sure you get the right kind for the application. And then I went home and it priced out for another week before I finally got to it and decided to give it a try. So I made the mistake. I laid my bike down on the side to get all the oil out. I figured, I'll make sure it's clean and stuff. Well, what I should have just done was empty the oil, because I was going to have to replace oil anyway. After having the bike on its side and doing all my work, I went to lift it back up, and all the overflow gas was freaking pouring out all over the place. And of course it flooded the carbs, and oh man, it was a big mess. So don't lay your bike on its side when you're going to do that. It works fine for the Honda Grom. I don't know if it's because that thing's fuel injected or what, but it did not work good on this. So I did the JB Weld. I let it set for 6 minutes, and then I gave it about 4 to 5 hours. Wasn't able to get the bike started initially after that. My battery was dead, and then I think it was just flooded. But I finally got the bike fired back to life. Did a little spin yesterday. Now the next day we're taking it out to see how she does. Oh, one thing I'll add as well, I went ahead and just obviously did the oil because I had to. And so we did the oil. These things are interesting because you've actually got 4 drain plugs on these. Now typically when you do your oil change, you can get away with just doing 3, but you've got a couple drain plugs. But one of the drain plugs is actually a wire kind of what do they call it? It's like a mesh filtering. Anyway, we did all of them. We got it all good to go. These take just under 2 quarts of oil. And anyway, so far I think it's holding up fine. And what I want to see is if I can actually still put case savers on it now and save myself from ever having to buy a new outer stator cover. But having this bike out of commission just renewed that love I have for it, because even though I love all the other motorcycles, none are as versatile in my setting here in the city as this motorcycle. And there's so many times I'd be out riding and just wish that I could, jump up over a curb into the grass, or romp up into the rocks, or take a shortcut here or take a shortcut there, and I wasn't able to. So now that we have the bike back to life, I'm pretty stoked, pretty excited about it. good. Definitely going to need a new front tire on this thing soon. Probably going to get some new grips for it, new levers, and new turn signal. These turn signals are garbage, absolute garbage. But aside from that, this thing has just been solid for me. Lots of traffic today. Huh. I'm not sure what that was, but that was a big something. Let's go find out. Almost looks like a big thing of clay. Oh, it's like insulation or something. See, that's what I love about the DRZ here. It gives you the ability to do this kind of thing. Ugh. Come on, man. Worst time to stall, bro. Anyway, the true test will be after this, you know, decent ride to see if it's still holding oil or if we've got any leaks. I was happy overnight to come look underneath the bike and see that there was not a single drop of oil, which cannot be said for my outer primary work on the Dyna. There we go, third gear, that's where it's at. A little bit higher speed. Woo! Yeah, the DRZ's back to life, dog. I really did miss this bike.